I really did just speak this into existence, huh, by doing yesterday's video, because one of the things that I mentioned was, we could also get the Lostbelt 3 campaign during the month of June, but it just kind of depends on where they want to throw it out. It depends on how fast they want to move through some of these different campaigns. It kind of, depends on when they want to drop Lostbelt 7. Is it going to be December 31st, 2024? So technically, it's still in the year, or is it going to be something like they want to put it in November, which I think might be the case because they do seem to be about like a month ahead, or we are a little ahead on the scheduling, it seems. So maybe that is what they want to go for. But speaking of yesterday's video, I just realized that I think the bit that I did for yesterday's video, because, Biken's coming out, and so I put Biken in the thumbnail because I thought that'd be kind of funny, especially because sometimes, you get comments of people being like, oh, why is that person in the thumbnail? But I realized that the bit might not actually work because I think her name is Bakin. I think I'm just saying her name wrong, the writer that we're going to be getting next month. And so I think I might have like foiled myself with my own bit. I was like, okay, maybe I should stop doing little jokes here on the channel. Just stick to the information. And so that's what we're going to do in today's video. We're going to talk about this Road to Lostbelt 7, Lostbelt number 3 campaign. So if you enjoy being informed, leave a like, subscribe, all that good stuff. But let's just start diving into this. So one of the things that I am personally looking forward to, as I did literally just read Lostbelt 3 for the first time a couple of days ago, and right now I'm going through Lostbelt 4 just to kind of catch up on stuff that I haven't read, because I've been putting it off for such a long time. Because usually if I stream one of the story chapters, I'm like, I'll just skip it, so we could just kind of play through the game, get to some of the boss fights, the fun stuff, and I'll read it on my own time. But when you keep doing that, it kind of piles up. It's like this pile of books just keeps like leveraging over there, and I just never get around to it. So one of the things that I'm really excited for this is that the interludes will be open. So not only is this going to be a decent bit of Saint Quartz for, just going through some of these interludes, it might also, again, push you up to that 10 milestone for the interlude missions where you can get those 10 Saint Quartz, which will be nice moving into Anniversary and such. But it's also interesting for me because I know some of them, like Qixi Huang's interlude over here, is kind of like a tie into the actual Lostbelt 3 campaign itself, which I do like. I do like that some of these interludes are now being more canonized, I guess, if you wanted to say that, because it's like technically, I guess they're all canon to FGO, but some of them feel like they'll have an event that just doesn't ever get referenced again, but now we're starting to get that, and because they want to do stuff like that, they're letting everybody read them, which I think is very, very cool. And there will also be, like a little bit of a bond bonus over here, as you can see, for any of the Lostbelt 3 characters, and we're also going to be getting Lanling's outfit over here. But aside from that, for the lore heads like myself, we're going to be getting the Recollection quest. Now, these ones might actually be a little bit difficult, because the first one is the Zhang Yu and the Lanling fight. I think out of the two of them, I believe I found the Consort Zhang Yu one a bit harder, but this one is still annoying, because if I remember correctly, doesn't Lanling like taunt themselves? Yeah, they keep taunting themselves. And so, Zhang Yu is just sitting there just pounding your servants, and it's a bit rough. And if I remember correctly, Zhang Yu also has Pierce Involts, so that could be a little annoying on a Berserker with an AoE NP. So at least make sure you do the Recollection quest. I know that the Super Recollection quests are not for everybody, and especially this one does look like it could be a little bit annoying, but if you do decide to go tackle them, for one, you're probably going to want to have like a decent sustain team. Bringing a Merlin can definitely be very, very helpful. But even then, I mean, just somebody that can give your guys some kind of sustainability. You might actually find a use for someone like Medea Lily in one of these fights, because you're going to be in there for a very, very long time. You're going to be sitting in this fight for a good, like 20, 30 minutes, sometimes these can go on longer. Now, I think if you bring someone like Gilgamesh, you might be able to kind of power through this, because he's super effective on both, and they're both weak to Anima Elish, so that might kind of help, as well as getting around the taunt over there. But Gil also doesn't have the best challenge quest kit, he doesn't have any native survivability. I mean, he's got like the bare minimum, and your supports are going to have to kind of babysit him, and he'll be really good. He'll make up for it with the damage, but again, you might want to resort to taking advantage of some of their attributes over here, as Zhang Yu is man, and so is Lanling over here. So if you have somebody with manpower mod like Morgan, which I will definitely be using to take down these two with probably a, let's just admit it, like a Merlin Castoria comp. Like, we're going to go in there to win and take this down, which I'll probably do on stream. But yeah, this one probably might be one of the more annoying ones. I don't remember having too much trouble with the Li Xuan one. I pulled up his traits as well over here. I think pretty much everybody's man here, right? Yeah, because they're like normal guys. If I'm remembering the man or human trait, it's supposed to be like the quote-unquote normal guys, even though I don't know if this counts as a normal dude anymore. I don't know if this counts as a normal dude anymore either. I don't know if they're normal people, but you know, they're like historically they're technically normal guys. They don't have like some special holy sword thing like our Knights of the Round Table who get like the Earth attribute and whatnot. And they're not deities, which is I believe Sky attribute is most of the like the deities and whatnot. But this one I don't remember struggling with all that much because it is just going in and fighting Li Shuin. He's just one assassin. You don't have to deal with the first and second wave, which some people really like because it allows them to build up their forces. Some people find it annoying because they just want to get right into the action and start blasting, you know, the bosses and whatnot. But this one, you just get in there. I mean, I'm probably going to be using Sanzo for this one. Just, I have her at NP3. She's a single target caster. She could probably do really good into this fight. That's probably what I'm going to be doing. And again, really weird they did not put Han Shin in here. I was like, even if they didn't want to make a sprite for him, you know, at least throw in one of like the Royal Guard people from the Singularity in there and just label it as Han Shin, right? They just were like, nah, we're going to put him in there. Because I understand he's also a tactician, but to my understanding, he also is capable of fighting himself. But then again, maybe the Fate version is not especially great at fighting himself because he's a guy known as like the War God. So like you probably should be able to throw some hands yourself, but I don't know. I guess he was just doing stratagems the whole fight. But this one, again, not I do love AI behavior, by the way. Makes him sound like an NPC. I guess he technically is an NPC, but yeah, you'll see that he will try to go for the Pierce Invul to try to get around your defenses. So do be mindful of that. Probably just bring Castoria, let's be honest, solemn defense so you don't have to worry about it at all. Or I don't know, maybe just face tank it. Maybe you're just strong enough to tank it. Then finally there's the Qi Shi Huang fight, which is notoriously very easy to do if you have Jolter, because Jolter denies a lot of the buffs that he's going to be giving himself. I believe on one of his breaks, yeah, on both of his breaks actually, he charges his NP to max, and you'll remember that Qi Shi Huang's NP over here gives him a lot of very, very strong buffs. It not only makes him invincible for a turn, but it also gives him some fat crit damage, and it's going to give him a fat attack buff. So the, not like weakness, but like the strength of the fight is the fact that he is just going to be pounding your guys. He is just going to be just straight up just dookying on them with some massive fat crits. But Jolter denies all of this because she has the one instance of buff block, but this kind of all gets treated as one package, so it kind of just negates the whole NP if you use her NP first, and it's super, super nice. If you do not have Jolter, you're gonna have to bring a different Avenger, man. You're gonna have to bring someone that can take this guy down. Unfortunately, I would say, oh, maybe you could get away with Mao Nobu, but even though he, you know, has the whole thing of like, oh, he's a Jaren or something, as I believe what they called it, which is, I guess, kind of like their version of a true ancestor if I was getting the whole lore dump correctly. Unfortunately, they didn't give him any type of divinity or anything to exploit, so you're either going to need to use Jolter and then just dumpster on this guy, use Tyra because she has very good survivability, especially with the Bond CE, allowing her to stack extra guts, or take advantage of the manpower mod with somebody that, well, has a manpower mod. But yeah, those are those. Just make sure you at least do the Recollection versions, because those are going to get you your tickets, and I know people care about those. But if you do get the Super Recollection quest, you get some nice teapots over here, which can level up your Bond, which technically is also more Saint Quartz if you're going from Bond 10 or higher. Then finally, we have a summoning campaign. I don't really think anybody's going to go for this banner. While it is, I guess, decent, because the servants here are not bad. I mean, Qi Shi Huang, I think, is the best, like, defensive soloer up until we get Alice, because Alice's third skill is ridiculously good, but he is still very, very strong. You know, being a ruler makes him naturally tanky. All of his skills are very strong, and then his NP allows him to build up some really nasty crit damage, as we saw earlier. And if you do bring him in a normal team comp with, like, proper supports, he's also very good at keeping them safe, because he taunts himself and then is invincible, so he takes all of the punishment. But the other servants on the banner, I mean, Li Shuin is good if you just want to nuke somebody with big punches. Like, Zhang Yu is pretty solid as well. I know he doesn't get the respect he probably should get, but he is rather solid. But it's just, I don't know. I could sing their praises and be like, oh, these servants are, like, really, really strong, and they're good. Maybe they are worth going for. But we are right around the corner from not only Anniversary, but the summer event. If people like Tamatomo or Bakken aren't going to be able to, you know, tempt people into summoning and spending their Saint Quartz before the Anniversary, I don't know what will. The only thing that had me caving was Ruler Moriarty, because I think he's sick, and Krimhild, because Come on, you guys know my MO by this point, all right? It's a white-haired waifu. I'm of course going to be summoning on that banner. That's just the way it goes. That's just the way things have to be over here on the ZTL channel. So, I had to go for that one, but I also felt confident knowing that we would be getting a bunch of Sanct Chords for the anniversary, like not to mention all the missions and stuff that are going to be around that. So, I felt like I'd be kind of fine or safe to go ahead and summon on that banner and try to go for that character. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the Road to 7 Lostbelt 3 campaign. Let me know what you guys are going to be going for in the comments down below if you are going to be summoning on this banner. I do think if you're more of a collector, I think like we don't have this max limit broken, so I do think this is like one of the only ways to max limit break the Lostbelt completion CEs if you care about that sort of thing. I mean, it's not like bad, but like, you know, you're probably going to use something else. You know, you're probably just going to use like Prisma Cosmos or something, even though this is not half bad, you know. Getting extra NP gain and extra NP charge is not terrible. I guess it's like a more, not free-to-play, but alternative option, I suppose, because you do have to summon more to get it maximum broken. And then let me know what your strategies are going to be for dumpstering on the Super Recollection quest. And I guess the Recollection quest over here, but everybody should be able to get this. I mean, you already cleared it once. You can clear it again. But with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. You guys have yourselves a nice day. Peace.